Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Camouflage of the World. I'm Mike B, and today we're going to be taking a look at a very heavily requested one that I finally was able to get my little grubby paws on. It's the Russian EMR pattern. So we're going to go over a little bit of the history, and then we're just going to kind of show you the uniform. Should be a nice short video, but it's also a really sweet pattern. So around 2008, they started making these uniforms and making this pattern to replace the older, VSR and Flora patterns. And so this was an attempt to kind of modernize, I guess, and get into the 21st century with all the digital pixelated stuff. And I can't pronounce at all what EMR actually stands for. It's a Russian thing that loosely or kind of almost translates to United Camouflage Coloration, which means united in the sense of like all the branches of the military were supposed to be wearing this. Because Russia's notorious for having a camouflage pattern for every single different activity, even in the military. So, and branch dependent. So this is kind of an attempt to standardize the uniform, kind of like VSR was, and nobody listened to that, and I'm pretty sure nobody's listening to that now, because you see all sorts of different camouflage patterns, and this one's included, but it's pretty common, but yeah, all branches are supposed to be issued this, but you know how the Russians are. So this is commonly called Tetris or DigiFlora, EMR, any one of those names, people that, are, Rusaboos will actually know what you're talking about. And yeah, it's a really sweet pattern too. I really like this. There's a lot of variations of this, like other woodland or kind of like a highland thing. There's variations, but this is going to be the summer one, which is the most common, and it's also my favorite. It's pretty aesthetically pleasing. So yeah, these began to be fully adopted, like actually mass produced, and they said, okay, this is our new uniform in around 2011, and ever since then it's been kind of the thing. I don't know of any patterns that are supposed to be replacing this as a whole recently, but I could be wrong. There's people that are way more in tune with that stuff than I am, because Russia's cool and everything, and I like this pattern, but I'm not totally obsessed with it like a lot of people are for whatever reason. But no, nothing against it. It's just not my area of expertise. So it consists of very small pixels, as you can see. Like, this is one of the smallest digital patterns you'll probably see. And it consists of black, reddish brown, and foliage green on a pale green background. So it's not a bad color scheme at all. This looks kind of weird because of the lighting. But I'd really like to get a set that fits my fat ass and go out and test it this summer up here in the North Woods. I'm guessing it would work pretty well. So this uniform itself is a genuine issue. It's from a fellow collector. Fortunately, it doesn't fit me, so I'm going to have to get rid of it in my store. I know. I'm just going to have to save up and get a size extra fat one day. But anyway, so this particular example is, I don't know the model name or whatever these are, like all the helmets confuse me too. It's like after SSH-68, I'm pretty useless as far as knowledge. I'm like, oh, that looks like a Russian Kevlar helmet, and this looks like a Russian uniform. So, but this one's got two large breast pockets and pockets on either sleeve. I don't see any flags or anything, which is kind of interesting, because a lot of the older, or maybe this one was just new and they put the patch on after whatever, like the Russian Armed Forces patches. But anyway, and then the epaulets up here, these don't have anything on them, but I'm guessing that's just like a private E1 rank, if they even wore them up there or whatever. So yeah, again, I don't know much about this. I'm just saying that the material is pretty comfortable. It seems durable yet lightweight enough to be worn in the summertime without dying of sweat and drowning in sweat and dying of heat exhaustion. It's a pretty interesting pattern overall. I really like this a lot. And again, I just want to get a set for myself to go out and test, and maybe just to wear around because it looks cool. So yeah, EMR is a really popular pattern with a lot of airsofters, milsim, and just people who like Russian stuff. And I can see why. It's definitely a neat pattern. The clothing is actually, like, the cut of the shirt is actually very functional. So yeah, I can see why it's popular. The only unfortunate part is it's really hard to get in bulk. It's really hard to get anything in bulk from Russia. And that's for a couple reasons that I found out as a surplus seller. Is I'd love to sell this stuff. I'd love to carry like mass quantities of EMR and all their gear and helmets and all that stuff. But customs in Russia kind of gets paranoid and kind of looks into people that are sending over mass quantities, like bulk quantities of surplus stuff, unless they jump through some hoops, or even then it's kind of a no-no. It's military goods and they have some regulations about that, so I don't want anybody to get in trouble. And it's so popular that the internet's kind of flooded with it, and I wouldn't be able to get it for any really good price below retail, below what people can get it at. So I'd love to get this wholesale bulk from a person in Russia, but there's no reliable sources yet. Some places get a little batch of these every now and then. I haven't been so lucky. This is the first actual EMR shirt I've seen come through my hands. So this is from a private collector. But anyway, so that's the reason, because I know a lot of you are going to ask, oh, can you carry this in your shop? I would love to, guys. I really would. But again, it's really hard to get stuff in bulk from Russia. And I would love, because Russian surplus is pretty cool stuff and everybody likes it and I like a lot of it, but it's just not that easy to do. So hopefully that clears up some of that conversation too, because I get that question a lot. But we'll see how many people actually watch these videos. All right, well, that being said, as we make this a nice short video, I appreciate you watching. I really do. If you check out the link in the description, consider becoming a supporter on Patreon. Help me get cool things, cool camouflage patterns like this, and other neat things like firearms, ammunition, and stuff to make cool range videos, helmets to do ballistic tests on, etc., etc. $1 a month buys you in, but $5 a month or more, you get access to my Discord server, which I'm on pretty regularly. So it's a good time. I do post exclusive content on there, etc., etc. It's a fun time. If not, I totally get that, and I really just appreciate you watching. So if you got any questions, I'll try to answer them or direct you in a direction of somebody who knows the answer, but no guarantees. Again, I'm not an expert on this stuff. Just kind of, I admire the pattern and I respect the pattern because it's really cool. And I think it's very aesthetically pleasing and pretty unique. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode of Camouflage of the World.